Salary cap rules in the NBA limit how much a player can be paid based on their experience in the league. The rules state that a player can only get to the 35% of the salary cap maximum after they've played 10 years in the league or met some other qualifiers based on their performance. Moreover, players in their prime ages of 26 to 29 can't get paid the most that they are worth, and this is bound to create issues. So, stay tuned and don't go away, because today we're looking at why Damian Lillard is proof that the NBA salary cap must change. First up, why is Damian Lillard proof that the NBA salary cap must change? Let's take a look. Rumors are swirling that six-time NBA All-Star point guard Damian Lillard will be seeking a contract extension that could see him paid up to $55 million in a single season. So this begs the question, is the NBA's player salary cap a necessary evil? And from what we can tell, the salary cap rule certainly seems justified. The league's rules, which govern how much a player can be paid and for how long, are important rules. Sports insiders have argued that the reason these rules are so important is because they keep the league competitively balanced. The salary cap rules have been negotiated between the league itself and the NBA Players Association, but despite their necessity, some argue that the rules, as they stand now, are flawed. According to those familiar with specific details of the salary cap rules, one of the biggest flaws is the so-called maximum contract clause. Many argue that the maximum contract clause is downright terrible for the NBA, when the only choice all-star level players such as Lillard have when they are free agents is whether they get 4 or 5 years with a slight bump in pay. Players will often base their choices on market conditions and location rather than on a team offering $30 million versus another team offering $55 million. Next up, while some players would be willing to sacrifice, say, $4 million a year, would they be willing to turn down $20 million a year to be in a big market? Let's find out. Portland Trailblazers star point guard Damian Lillard is a perfect case study to explore this question. Lillard will be seeking a contract extension that could see him paid a staggering $55 million in the 2026-27 season alone. There's no question that a top 10 player like Lillard would go after that kind of cheddar, but in reality, it's unlikely that a team would want to pay him that much when he reaches his late 30s, even though he has proven to be an elite player over the course of the last 5 seasons. Think about it for a second. If Lillard was paid $55 million a year when he was 27, most people would be perfectly comfortable with that because he's in his prime and playing like an elite top 5 player. If you followed NBA player salaries closely over the years, then you know that players are limited when they are at their best and feel obligated to negotiate the maximum payout that they can when they're well beyond their primes. So what does this mean? What it means is that teams are paying for a player's past performance and not for their future value. And this segues into our next question. Up next, do aging players on bad contracts spell disaster for the NBA? Let's dig a little deeper. We've seen the problematic issues that bloated contracts for players such as Russell Westbrook and John Wall have created as they get older. As we mentioned previously, if they're paid that much at age 27 when they're in their primes, no one bats an eye. Take Lillard's teammate, CJ McCollum, for instance. McCollum's going to run into the same issue. Fans are going to hate McCollum's deal, which works out to 2 years, with roughly $70 million left owed after this season. Because of salary cap rules, McCollum will be looked at negatively in next year's season. If a player such as Lillard can't get this kind of contract from the Blazers, he'll likely feel disrespected after all he has done for the franchise, and as a result, the franchise legend will likely end up with another team for the golden years of his NBA career. As you probably know, players rarely end their careers with their rookie teams, and the biggest reason for that is the pay scale. For example, if Lillard had been permitted to sign a 4-year, $250 million deal at age 26, maybe he'd consider taking a pay cut after that huge contract ends and his performance and career is in decline. And it's no secret that Lillard wants to end his career with the Trailblazers, but he'll likely end up switching teams due to increasing contract demands. At the end of the day, it's just business. Stay tuned and don't go away, because we've got more info on NBA salary cap rules coming your way. Next up, would ending salary caps make it easier for teams to retain fan-favorite players like Lillard? Let's take a look. If players were paid higher amounts in their primes, higher than what the NBA currently allows, it might make it easier for top-tier players like Lillard to accept smaller contracts as their performance and careers start to wind down. And this would make it much easier for teams to keep fan-favorite players. But because of salary cap rules, many top-level players like Lillard and other stars have been underpaid throughout their careers, and this leads to lousy contracts when players' careers come to an end. Allowing teams to pay their players 35% of the cap at any time after their rookie contracts end would allow teams to be more creative and pay players for the value they currently provide, and not 5 or 10 years ago. This would also stop fans from getting so upset when they see aging stars get paid big bucks for lesser quality performances at the end of their careers. This is why it's so important for the league and the NBA Players Association to come together, have some serious talks about these issues, and try to resolve them once and for all. Up next, what on earth is happening with Kevin Durant? The man is on fire. For more times than we can count, Kevin Durant is once once again showing fans around the world what it means to be a natural-born leader. Obviously, Coach Steve Nash is beyond thrilled to have the legendary player on board, but Nash is concerned that the heavy workload is a lot for the Brooklyn Nets' biggest star to carry on his shoulders. Durant's heavy burden has only increased since 7 of the team's players are now missing due to the NBA's health and safety protocols relating to the COVID-19 pandemic. Nash recently said, "It's a really important topic. I don't know that we can continue to lean on Kevin the way we have. It doesn't feel right." But Nets fans, particularly in Brooklyn, are electrified with newfound hope and positivity vibes that Durant brings to the team, and they're enamored with Durant's full-scale assault on any team that meets the Nets on the court. Durant recently went on a flaming hot 34-point scoring streak in 39 minutes, and people are still talking about it. And who could forget Thursday's 114-105 win against the Philadelphia 76ers? Mind-blowing. Also, you have to take into account that Joe Harris has been out with an ankle injury, and anti-vaxxer Kyrie Irving still out. And when the Nets recently played the Sixers, they were missing a total of 9 players. But of course, Durant rose to the challenge and delivered with the help of rookies like Cam Thomas, Kessler Edwards, Day'Ron Sharpe, and David Duke Jr. When playing against the 76ers, Durant even managed to grab 11 rebounds. Absolutely incredible. The guy's in full beast mode, and Nets fans around the world are hoping he's got plenty of fuel left in the tank. Finally, can Durant keep the juice flowing? Let's take a look. In a recent interview, Coach Steve Nash was asked for his thoughts on Durant's insane hot streak and said, "I know he's enjoying playing at the rate he's playing at, trying to bring his teammates along with him, and all the responsibility that he's accepted and crushed, basically. It's just been incredible. But at the same time, we know that it's not safe or sustainable to continue to lean on him like that. So there's going to be a lot of consideration, and we'll have to figure out a way to give him breaks." Over his last 4 games, Durant has averaged 38 points scored per game and 8.5 assists. Astonishingly, it's Durant and a handful of rookies who are responsible for a 4-game win streak that has Nets fans going ballistic. In a recent interview, Durant opened up about the pressures that comes with his key leadership role after crushing the 76ers and said, "I don't think I have to do anything extra, just be myself. I love playing. I like being out there. The challenge of winning is fun to me. So no matter who's out on the floor, we want to play to win. We're all passionate about the game. It's not like I'm the main voice out there. Everybody's out there talking and communicating. That's what the team is about." And that's a wrap for today's video, sports fans. Be sure to hit us with a like and subscribe to our channel. Otherwise, you'll miss out on a ton of great videos we've got coming your way.